Hi, can you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Sandokan.
He abierto mis ojos, cancelando mis enojos, y he sentido que te tengo un poco más. Aprovecho y me cuelo, enredándote en mi pelo, insistiendo en que me vuelvas a buscar. 90 minutos no puede durar el amor. Pídeme, pídeme, pídeme más. La vida mia, ogni parola è nostalgia, questo amore che mi lascia e non mi abbandona, resta solo questo canto, non capisco perché piango, desiderio che tormenta e non va via, resta solo questo sogno, io ancora qui rimango, desiderio che tormenta e non va via.
Each ni san she go rock.
Ahora sí, parece que ya empiezo a entender. Las cosas importantes de aquí son las que están detrás de la piel. Y todo lo demás empieza donde acaban mis pies. Después de mucho tiempo aprendí que hay cosas que es mejor no aprender. El colegio poco me enseñó. Si es por esos libros nunca aprendo a coger el cielo con las manos, a reír y a llorar lo que te canto, a coser mi alma rota sing around the ring, live in sweet communion. Sing with life, live with life, sing with life and power. Sing with life, live with life, sing with life and power. Come dance and sing around the ring, live in love and union. Dance and sing around the ring, live in sweet communion. Sing with life, live with life, sing with life and power. Sing with life, live with life, sing with life and power. Resistance in love. Genius Loci. Nos vemos en España.
What's the next step of the project?
To kill Matteo.
Hello, good evening to all audiences and guests here present to celebrate this final session for the Spanish Artistic International Residence of the project Genius Loci. Today, we discuss methods and tools for fostering motivation, training, and good practices in the creative, artistic, and educational contexts in times of the pandemic. We would like to welcome Fabio Toledi, Artistic Director of Astragali Teatro and President of the Italian Center for the International Theatre Institute, ITI UNESCO. Welcome, Fabio.
Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, all the friends of ITI Spain and Instituto de Danza Alicia Alonso that has organized these wonderful days of the Spanish residencies of the project Genius Loci. We have said all the days that we regret a lot of the situation of the pandemic and the distance and so on, but I think that we have elaborated an important answer to these difficult moments about this extraordinary situation never happened in the history of the last centuries, to have all the theaters closed all over the world. And this situation is so extraordinary that also create a great difficulties for all the community of performing arts. I think that we are trying to find a level, and also the motivation of ourselves is stronger and stronger. Today, I'm very happy that we have quite all the partners of the project, the responsibles of the project from University of Salento and the Theater of Costanza and Theater Zakynthos. And in these days, we have seen something very extraordinary, and I want to thank you one more time for the effort that you have produced with some important indications also for the topic of today, how we can work in this condition, and also how to maintain the artistic, the creative dimension of the young generation, and also for all the community. You know very well that during the General Assembly of ITI in December, we have discussed with all the centers all over the world about this situation. And also we are preparing the World Congress for the next January in Fujairah in Arab Emirates. And it's not clear if we are overcome the situation that we are living now. In any case, we have started to schedule and prepare activities. In many other parts of the world, for example, there is a very important meeting and also the EC session of ITI in Manila in the beginning of October. But we are not sure that we will be able to do this. And in this condition also remain very, very strong the need to continue to organize and to be ready to restart with the theater reopened. Also, we have said something important during the General Assembly is the position of the International Theater Institute worldwide. The theater open is not only a right, a very important right of the community of performer, of the technicians and so on. Is also a right of all the people, of the whole population, of the audience, is the similar right. It's important for all the women and men of each countries to stay at theater, because this is a dimension of the human heritage. Is something so important. Also, you know that I work, and La Strega Teatro has worked, I continue to work in the conflict zones area. And we have scheduled to go in September in Palestine, in Jenin, in the beginning of September, in the refugee camp in Palestine of Jenin. And we want to do, and also it's clear that in the situation with more difficulties, it's more important to open theater because it's a level of resistance of the human being, this one. And also, you know that we have to find a way also, and I think that you have prepared and elaborated an experience very, very close to this need, in which you have given the opportunities to the young generation, to the student also of the first year, to prepare something, a choreography, a work, working with a principle essential for the concrete heritage of the theater, is the responsibilities of everyone. Elaborate the sense of responsibility is something very important. I use this term in the direction of Hannah Arendt, that is something connected with the elaboration of something that remain in the human community, like a sign of the absolute importance. And also mainly in this situation, we have to remember to everyone, I can say about the Italian experience, the church are open from many. I don't want to have a polemica is the Italian terms, is not, I don't want to create, but it's very strange that the church are open and the theater are closed. I don't understand why it's possible, these differences, because like for the human being is important for someone, not for me, but I respect this position. I have taught for more than 10 years sociology of religion. For this is a topic that I know very well. It's very important. I respect the attitude to the sacred of the people, but also theater is something civil right of the sacred dimension of living. And also for this, it's very strange that the theater are closed and the church are open. I can't understand, really. And also we have, during the last summer, performances in the open space in the amphitheater of Rudie. Is a very important archaeological site with all the measure to preserve. And also we have some data from the official communication. There is no level of people infected during a performance in a theater are other the place in which the infection has spread out in a very terrible way. Now, okay, we are waiting for the reopening, but we are not sure if we will maintain this dimension. But in any case, the first aspect that it's very important to remark, and also during some initiative of International Theatre Institute, I have remarked that we need to promote the mobility of artists, mainly for the young artists, but also for all the artists. It's very important to restart the international project for the mobility, because it's a very important issue in this moment. And also in this way, I think that, for example, the residencies made like in Romania, now in Spain, in teleconference, has opened something, because we have to reconsider some aspects. And sometimes it's an opportunity to have a meeting, a discussion, not only with the travel and so on, but also we have to remember always that it's very important to reopen the theater. And I think that we are working in the right way. And also we have to be ready to relaunch our common projects with this new awareness. Also, responsibility is one of the key words that we use, and the other one is awareness. Awareness is very important to remember in each moment, that it's very important to be ready to create answer. There is a very famous interview at the radio of Julian Beck of Living Theatre. His questions is the title. Perhaps we will share together, because it's a text very interesting. But at the end, Julian Beck says, I have only questions, but by you, I need answer. And it's something that is the way in which we are working. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fabio, for your deep insights around these topics we are discussing along these activities. And now I would like to give the word to Roberta Cuarta, actress and master at Astragali Teatro and coordinator of this project, Genius Loci. Welcome, Roberta.
The Tremenda.
Yes, thank you very much, Gloria. Very sad because today it's the final day of the residence coordinated by the Institute of Dance Alicia Alonso, which was an excellent residence that saw the involvement of young artists, students, teachers, cultural operators, and was very enriching and inspiring for all of us. So a big thank. I'm sad, but I'm happy today also because here there are also most of the partners of the Genius Loci project that have been invited by the Institute of Dance to take part in this confrontation, in this final dialogue. And I'm very thankful to the partners, especially for the very important response given to this dramatic situation of the pandemic, and to the ability to change and revise the initial programs of the project. Thus, I would like to say that Genius Loci project is supported by the Creative Europe program. It is a project promoted by Astragali Teatro, made in partnership with the University of Salento, Department of History, Society and Human Studies, Teatro Zakynthos from Greece, State Theatre of Constanza from Romania, the International Theatre Institute from France, and the Institute of Dance Alicia Alonso from Spain. So we skipped from Madrid to Paris to Lecce in the south of Italy to the beautiful island of Zakynthos, where we could be physically only in that place. and to the Black Sea, to the beautiful city of Constanza. You could see at the beginning the images of the first residents of Genius Loci project. It was more than 1 year ago. The only residence that could be made in presence. We were almost 25 artists on stage sharing an intensive work together. Then the pandemic changed our plans, and the second residence was held online, a very excellent and beautiful residence coordinated by the State Theatre of Constanza. Here we have Kostas Kapodistrias from Teatro Tsitsakintos and Alina Vassiliou from the State Theatre of Constanza. A very exciting journey, even if online, but that could foster joint work of artists, original creations for the project, and cross-border exchanges. Now we are in Spain, and we've been very excited for all these activities that you have carried out and that we are carrying out with all the partners of Genius Loci. I just would like to say that, as Fabio said, Genius Loci is very important because it can give us the possibility to promote cultural exchanges, to continue to believe that it is possible to work and live in performing arts, and that arts are a primary need for the performing arts community and for the community, for the society as a whole. Thank you very much again, and I give back the floor to my dear Gloria.
Thank you, Roberta. We are also very thankful for your leadership, Fabio and Roberta Nastragali, of this partnership between all of us. Thank you. Now, I would like to invite Alberto García Castaño, Director of the Instituto Universitario de Danza Alicia Alonso, President of the Spanish Center for ITI UNESCO, and President of the International Dance Committee of ITI UNESCO. Alberto. El micro, Alberto.
Lo primero, darles la bienvenida a todos por estar aquí compartiendo este quinto día de la residencia española de Genius Loci. Me complace especialmente comprobar que nos acompañan varios de los partners de este proyecto, a los que quiero agradecerles su presencia aquí esta tarde.
Well, I'd like to welcome, I'm sorry, Luis. Oh.
Gloria.
Should I go ahead?
Venga, tú adelante.
Okay, I would like to welcome all of you to this fifth day session of the residents of Genius Loci, and I am very pleased to know that most of the partners are here with us, accompanying us today.
Quiero aprovechar esta ocasión para agradecer de manera muy especial al equipo de Astragali Teatro y a su indiscutible líder, Fabio Toledi, y, cómo no, a nuestra imprescindible siempre coordinadora del proyecto, Roberta Cuarta.
I would like also to thank the team, the incredible team of Astragali Teatro, and the great leadership of Fabio Toledi and our dearest Roberta Cuarta.
Genius Loci ha sido para nosotros un motor impulsor de nuestra actividad de danza, porque a través de este proyecto hemos podido generar ilusión y confianza en el futuro, tanto de nuestros estudiantes como de nuestros profesores.
Genius Loci has been always a motor to our dance activity and theater activity, because through this project we have been able to share illusion to our students.
Cuando hicimos la convocatoria para el curso, para el actual curso académico, pensábamos que no íbamos a tener estudiantes, dada la situación que tienen los teatros que están cerrados y la poca perspectiva que en ese momento se veía en el futuro de las artes escénicas. Sin embargo, no ha sido así. A la llamada acudieron más jóvenes que nunca, y por eso ha sido un motivo importante para nosotros el hecho de este proyecto, que ha servido también para estimularles y no decaer en el ánimo de que su labor artística también es muy importante.
When we had to place the call for this new academic year, we thought we wouldn't have any students attending to the call to the studies of dance and theater and circus arts. But on the contrary, we had a lot of students coming to the for the new academic year, and we had the chance to keep on stimulating the performing arts in their doings.
Nuestra tarea ha sido muy complicada, ya que la universidad decidió suprimir la presencialidad durante todo el primer semestre del año académico. Y nosotros tuvimos que apostar por la presencialidad, y no solamente la presencialidad esporádica, sino la de todos los días, la del trabajo diario, lo que supuso asumir una gran responsabilidad de cara a la comunidad universitaria, ya que corríamos el riesgo de que se propagara la pandemia dentro de nuestro grupo de estudiantes.
Our tasks have been very complicated during this academic year because the on-site classes with the presence of the students have been completely eliminated, but we decided that the training and practical classes should be go on. We needed them to go on site. So we risked the fact that that was not quite accepted, but we argued in favor of doing that, and actually we have been having on-site classes.
Un riesgo que asumimos tanto desde la dirección como los profesores y los propios estudiantes, y que hoy tengo que decir con profunda satisfacción que nuestra aventura ha funcionado, y que gracias al entusiasmo de esos profesores, al entusiasmo de nuestros estudiantes, hemos podido llevar adelante el proyecto de Genius Loci.
That was a risk that we had to assume from the direction of the institute, from the professors, and from all the students. And I have to say that our adventure has been a very good experience. And thanks to all the enthusiasm of teachers, students, and all the workers, we could go on with our project, and we could go on with their participation in Genius Loci.
Tengo fe en el futuro y espero que en un tiempo no muy lejano podamos seguir construyendo arte todos juntos, y que proyectos como Genius Loci se vuelvan a repetir muchas y muchas veces. Muchas gracias a todos.
I have a lot of faith in the future, and I hope that we can go on helping on building upon the performing arts. And thank you very much for everything. Thank you, Alberto, for your words. Now it's turn to present Luis Llerena Díaz, Secretary General of the Instituto Universitario de Danza Alicia Alonso, and Vice President of the Spanish Center for ITI UNESCO. Welcome, Luis.
Hi, everybody. Because I have a communication in a few minutes later, I would like to simply, in this moment, welcome all of you, those who are here. I see my dear Alina Iona, that probably she has a cup of tea in the table. Probably there it is. I knew it. And of course, I meet now Giovanna Capodistria, that she couldn't come. We waited for you in Spain, and Costas also we still have a lot of life in the future, I suppose. And of course, I would like to thank all the rest of our professors that are here waiting: Jose Garcia, Jose Manuel Buzón, Oscar Torrado, Sara Ballesteros, Luisa Arias, Jorge Gallego. They were all in the presentations the first and the second day, and it was very important for us to see and to express to all the experience of what we have done. So this is the only purpose in this moment. In a few minutes, you will see me again in the small communication that I will say. Welcome, everybody, and thanks to all of you, and thanks Toledo, and thanks Roberta and Fabio, and all the rest of the partners. I'm very happy to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Luis. Now we would like to give a warm welcome to one of our partners from Romania, Alina Vasiliu, from the State Theatre of Constanța. Welcome, Alina.
Microphone, Alina.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I said that I am very happy to see you, and it was quite touching for me to see the images from the Zakynthos residence, in which we were all together, so close. And it makes me wonder if we will ever going to return to that situation. And at the same time, I think that we should do anything in our power to do so, to be as we used to be before the pandemic. It was hard for our theater too, and pandemic was a lesson for us. I think we have learned a lot. Last summer, we tried to take advantage of the fact that we were allowed to perform outdoors, and we organized the theater season, in which we also gave the people from Constanța the opportunity to see performances from all over the country. But last summer, it was a good situation because we already had a budget approved by the authorities, and we could do that, bring theaters from all over the country to perform here in Constanța in open air. Unfortunately, we will not be able to do this summer also, because the budget is very low. And we will present our productions outdoors, but not all the productions that the theater has are suitable for outdoor performances. So even if we could adapt them somehow, not all the directors agree to that. We also had a number of online little projects with various occasions. But the main project that we had adapted to the conditions of the pandemics, to the restrictions of the pandemics, was one that just had the opening on the 20th of March. And it is called the D-Day. And it is a very innovative performance. We call it hybrid because it can be watched online and also as a spectator in the theater. We have a TV studio replicated on the stage with two large screens facing the audience. We can see the technical staff of the television and the journalists in the studio doing their jobs. And then we have a breaking news, and the breaking news is about a kidnapping that is taking place right then. We can see a group of young people going live on Facebook from a car running throughout the city. And the television is broadcasting their live and commenting upon their actions. This can be seen from online, from people in their homes. And when the restrictions will be, I don't know, there will be no restrictions, the audience will be able to see the performance from the theater. And it's a story about justice and corruption. It's a kind of manifesto, and citizens from Constanța can recognize characters from politics and public space. But I think it is mainly important for the innovation, for being able to broadcast online a live performance and transmit the live emotion to the spectators. Being able to see it online and also see it as a spectator in the theater, I say that it is more touching when you see it from the theater. But theater always is more touching when you see it on the stage. I don't know, maybe the things will return to normal. I wanted to share with you this experience because I think in this time of pandemics, we need to be innovative and find ways to get to the audience somehow. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Alina. That it's very true. Trying to find the ways to connect from our own experiences to overcome everything. So now we would like to welcome our next guest, Professor Alessandro Isoni, coordinator of Genius Loci for the University of Salento, Department of History, Society, and Human Studies. Thank you for being here with us today, and welcome, Alessandro.
Thank you very much, and hi everybody. I'm very happy to stay here today with you, and I'm also sad not to be in presence because we had the opportunity to stay all together in Lecce, in the kickoff meeting, and then in Zakynthos. I have a beautiful record of these two experiences, and for me it's a lost opportunity to improve our knowledge and to become friends. That we are already friends, but best friends, and I hope that there will be the opportunity in the future to work together and to spend beautiful hours together. I take the advantage of the presence of Levant because he said before that he is from Trabzon. And in Italian language, we have an expression that is to lose the Trebizond, cioè perdere la Trebisonda. The meaning is to lose the capacity, the ability to orient ourselves during our life in particular. And I have to say that for this project, this didn't happen. We keep the ability to orient ourselves in this difficult and terrible period of our lives. And the fact that we are here tonight is the first and not the last demonstration that we are a cohesive group that is able to keep united and to for all the difficulties that we have to face as both as artists, but also as academics, for my experience. And I think that this is the great outcome of this project. The outcome that is the demonstration that the cultural exchange is stronger than all the difficulties that we have to face, because we create a group that is cohesive. And maybe it's not by coincidence that we are all people coming from a southern perspective or an eastern perspective. And we have a way of thinking that is not so Western attitude, and we are able to take advantage also of the difficulties. I deep understand the difficulties that people working in the theater and in all the activities that are related to theatrical representation, music, also movies and cinema. But we have demonstrated during these difficult months that we are stronger of this. And I think that this is the first premise to create a group for other projects. We are, I think that I think that we don't have other challenges so difficult like this. So for us, all the future is easier than this situation. And the last thing that I would like to say is that all the project is centered on the idea that tradition and the cultural heritage is the center of our identity. And I'm deeply convinced that this is the truth of our lives. And we are all united, tied by like a simple line that is also a great line. The line is that of our human and reciprocal comprehension and awareness. I really appreciate what Fabio said during his intervention, and I think that we are aware that our identity and our experience is deeply rooted in our identity. So traditions, but also the idea of working for a younger generation and for the future is our star that is located in the north, for using another metaphor, and we have to follow this idea. We have to work for a better comprehension between culture and also for a young generation that are the real hope for our future. I thank you very much, everybody, and I hope that we'll be we have the opportunity to see in Lecce, I hope in presence in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alessandro. And Fabio was these previous days also talking about the dimension of the relationships of friendship that you mentioned. And here we say, perder el norte, losing the north. So yes, this is a way to help not losing our north, right? Okay, thank you. Now we welcome our next partners from Greece, Kostas Kapodistrias, Director of Theatre Zakynthos, and Giovanna Kapodistrias. Welcome.
Hello, hello everybody. Can you listen to me? Okay. I prefer to speak Greek to translate Giovanna in English. The younger generation of theatre Zakynthos theatre. Well, είμαι πολύ συγκινημένος γιατί θυμάμαι όλες αυτές τις ζωντανές εκδηλώσεις που κάναμε εδώ στη Ζάκυνθο τον τελευταίο Φεβρουάριο πριν η πανδημία. Γιωβάννα, είσαι μέσα?
Ναι. Hello. I'm very touched because I remember with a great move all the live experiences we lived the last February in 2020, just 1 month before the COVID pandemic. And I am very happy to remember those things because they are very important to me.
Με το Φάμπιο κάνουμε project από το 2000. Συναντηθήκαμε πολύ νωρίς όταν προσπαθούσαμε να έρθουμε σε επαφή με τις ρίζες μας. Εδώ στη Ζάκυνθο έχουμε αναπτύξει ένα ιδιαίτερο είδος θεάτρου, το οποίο το ψάχνουμε, το ερευνάμε και ψάχνουμε να βρούμε τις ρίζες μας.
I worked with Fabio from 2002 and we try to work and find our roots. Here in Zakynthos, we have a very specific kind of theater, and it's a popular theater. And we have an experimental type of scene that we try to find these roots, where they are coming from.
Έτσι συναντηθήκαμε με τον Φάμπιο στα πλαίσια ενός project τότε το 2000 και πιστεύω ότι ήταν μια πολύ ευτυχισμένη συνάντηση.
When I met Fabio in 2000, it was a very important. When I met Fabio in 2000, it was a very important meeting for me, and I'm very happy that this meeting happened then.
Από όλα αυτά τα project που έχουμε κάνει αυτά τα χρόνια, πιστεύω ότι το φετινό, το Genius Loci, έδειχνε ότι θα είναι πραγματικά σπουδαίο. Εδώ στη Ζάκυνθο δηλαδή γίνανε εξαιρετικά πράγματα. Είναι ένα project φυσικά εξαρτάται και από την ποιότητα αυτών που συμμετέχουν. Βλέπω το Λεβέντη τώρα απέναντί μου και γελάει. Λεβέντη. Ήταν πραγματικά μια μεγαλειώδης εμπειρία αυτό που ζήσαμε εδώ στη Ζάκυνθο, που δυστυχώς ήταν το μοναδικό. Όλα έδειχναν ότι θα γίνει κάτι πάρα σπουδαίο, που τελικά η πανδημία δεν μας άφησε να το κάνουμε ζωντανά.
From all the projects that I believed that Genius Loci was the most important from all of them on the last years that we did in Zakynthos, and I was very excited to be participated in this project. And I believed very much that not only Zakynthos, but also in the next residence in Spain, in Romania, and in Italy, there will be a lot of great things to happen on stage and out of stage. But it was very bad luck that only Zakynthos we could meet in person.
Τέλος πάντων, δεν είναι θέμα να το βάζουμε κάτω, ας μην το βάζουμε κάτω. Εμείς εδώ στη Ζάκυνθο τώρα σχεδιάζουμε πράγματα για το μέλλον, που θα μας επιτρέπουν να συναντιόμαστε ξανά και ξανά και ξανά πάνω στην ίδια δημιουργική βάση που συναντηθήκαμε στο Genius Loci. Γιωβάνα, σου βάζω δύσκολα.
Όχι, όχι. But we don't need to let things be bad and be sad about everything that is happening. Here in Theater of Zakynthos, we are working on new things that can happen, and we will be very happy to announce them.
Δηλαδή, σε αυτή την περίοδο δουλεύουμε με την περιφέρεια Ιωνίων νησιών, Region of Ionian Island. Δουλεύουμε με την περιφέρεια Ιωνίων νησιών για να φτιάξουμε έναν οργανισμό όπου θα μπορεί ένα Ινστιτούτο θεάτρου, ας πούμε, λαϊκού θεάτρου βέβαια, που θα πατάει πάνω στο λαϊκό θέατρο και στις παράλληλες μορφές με το λαϊκό θέατρο, έτσι ώστε να οργανώνει σεμινάρια, να οργανώνει συνέδρια, να οργανώνει φεστιβάλ, να οργανώνει συναντήσεις, όλα αυτά που μπορούν πραγματικά να δημιουργήσουν καλό κλίμα για τις νέες γενιές που έρχονται.
We are working right now in order to create an organization for the popular theater of Zakynthos as an experimental scene, but not only as an experimental scene, in order to create seminars, festivals, in order to have every partner of here to work with us. We are very happy to have you there. And this is with the registration of the Ionian Islands. And we are hoping that we can create that very immediately.
Πιστεύω ότι όλοι όσοι είμαστε εδώ σήμερα σε αυτή τη συνάντηση μπορούμε να αποτελέσουμε ζωντανά κύτταρα αυτού του οργανισμού.
I believe that everyone who is here right now, we can be a very important part of this organization that we are going to create. So we can go and have and experience all these things in the future also.
Λοιπόν, κλείνω λέγοντας ότι εμείς δεν σταματήσαμε να κάνουμε θέατρο την περίοδο της πανδημίας. Το καλοκαίρι που μας πέρασε ανεβάσαμε τη Λυσιστράτη σε διασκευή σύμφωνα με την αισθητική του Ζακυνθινού Λαϊκού Θεάτρου και τώρα έχουμε προγραμματίσει, πάντα επηρεασμένοι από την πολύ καλή εντύπωση που μας έχουν αφήσει οι Ισπανοί στη Ζάκυνθο, το ανέβασμα του Δον Κιχώτη του Θερβάντες.
And to end, I would like to say that we didn't stop making theater during COVID time. In the last summer, when the theaters were open in Greece, we performed Lysistrati of Aristophanes. And now we are working on Cervantes' piece, Don Quixotes. And we are very happy from our friends from Spain who helped us with that.
Αυτά. Ελπίζω ότι θα καταφέρουμε να σας δείξουμε αυτή τη δουλειά. Πες το αυτό, ότι ελπίζω ότι θα καταφέρουμε να τους δείξουμε τη δουλειά μας.
We are hope to share with you this performance, especially. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kostas and Giovanna, for sharing with us. And at least we were lucky enough to have at least one residence at Zakynthos. So that is good. Thank you.
It was great days, believe me. Levent, speak please.
Yeah, that was a great days. Actually, I'm happy. It was my first documentary which I recorded over there, and it's gonna be always on my mind. Zakynthos, yeah, about that.
We have to do it again and again and again.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
Great, thank you a lot. And now we turn to Luis de Arena to give some perspectives from these days about the topics we are dealing with and sharing with all the partners. Go ahead, Luis.
Thank you, Gloria. it's true. It's a little bit, a few perspectives about motivation solutions. Excuse me. I have to hang. Okay. Motivation solutions in times of COVID-19. Well, motivation is the reason for people's action, desires, and needs. It can also be said that it is one's direction towards behavior, or what causes a person to repeat a behavior. A motive is the impulse a person has to act in a certain way, or develop a desire for a special behavior. Motivation is an internal process that makes a person move towards a goal, such as intelligence. It cannot be observed directly. Anyone who has ever had a goal, like becoming a first dancer, will probably immediately realize that simply having the desire to achieve something is not enough. Reaching such a goal requires the ability to persist through obstacles and strength to keep going despite difficulties. Motivation has three main components, which are: activation involves the decision to initiate a behavior such as enrolling in an artistic class. Persistence is the continuous effort towards a goal, even though there may be obstacles. An example of persistence would be taking more psychology courses to earn a degree, although it requires a significant investment in time, energy, and resources. And the intensity can be seen in the concentration and vigor that pursues the achievement of a goal. For example, one student may pass without much effort, while another will study regularly, engage in discussions, and take advantage of research opportunities outside of class. The former student lacking intensity, while the latter pursuing his educational goals with great intensity. In addition, there are two major divisions in psychology in relation to motivation: the intrinsic and the extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation starts from the inside of the person. It is voluntary and does not require an external incentive. This type of motivation seeks self-realization and personal development. The mere execution of the task is the reward. For example, a hobby, community help, or to become an artist. Extrinsic motivation comes from outside and arises when a reward, honor, or approval is offered for the performance of a task or activity. For example, working for a salary, studying for a degree. But equally, from outside, also there are factors that cause demotivation. A bad teacher, not having been selected to play a role, not having the required technical level, etc. During the confinements and restrictive measures caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, they had a very strong impact on creating conditions for demotivation. Not being able to practice, having to stay isolated for a long time, not having direct communication with teachers and others. Then, it's very important that an artistic institution that has planned 50% of the time in practical classes has to create new goals to create motivation. In our experience, the principal goal is to create conditions in which people work with enthusiasm, initiative, interest, and passion, and also to create conditions in which people work with a sense of responsibility, loyalty, discipline, and with pride of confidence, so that the objectives of an organization are effectively achieved together with the motivation objectives of the workers and the students. We had to find all possible means for the activities to continue and try to get performances to be made with great difficulties. We had to learn from one day to the next to teach online classes. We had to change the internal information system and hire tools for online work. Luckily, we found it by implementing the academic Google. We had to be creative to make representations in unconventional places. We had to insist and look for means and conditions to stimulate the need for the internal achievements in the students and workers and struggle to be successful. In other words, the need for achievement directed toward competition with a standard of excellence. We kept in mind that people with a high motivation will perform in any place, time, and condition that those with moderate or low need of achievements. Thank you.
Thank you, Luis. Now we will summarize to finish our intervention some aspects that we have been around these days. Along these previous days, we have been talking about different aspects of the creative processes, artistics, and educational context, the importance of the young as creators, the experience of the Institute Alicia Alonso in the staging of the Nutcracker, the experience in the site of Peregrinos, part of the natural heritage of Spain, and sharing with the community. And all of them lead us to some issues and special thoughts recurringly to say we had to find the ways to foster motivation for the institution, and the people that are part of it, teachers, artists, students, find ways to preserve cultural, tangible, and also intangible heritage, find ways to generate good practices and ways of to promote the learning, teaching processes and the training tools in the performing arts, especially in these times of the pandemic, to convey that ultimate goal of keeping the performing arts alive. In summary, along the different points of view which we have been expressing here, Artistic Director Oscar Torrado told us about the importance of finding the best way to develop the idea that Alberto Garcia Castaño proposed to motivate our students at the beginning of the academic year, the idea of staging the Nutcracker from a multidisciplinary perspective, where theater, the Spanish dance, the classical dance, the contemporary dance, and the circus arts could meet in a joint effort to do what it seemed impossible, given the opportunity in this case to have a stage, that the students could perform with no audience, but it was going on streaming, so we could share it abroad with the technologies. Different tools have been expressed by the different creators, choreographers, and teachers that were involved in the staging of the Nutcracker, and in the other artistic and educational processes discussed throughout the previous days. We have to follow the rules and guidelines expressed by the Ministry of Health Services and by the Community of Madrid, along with the internal measures of the educational institutions. Following those rules as strictly as possible, we have to count also on the personal responsibilities of each one, and awareness of the general and collective good made possible that we could perform at the theater, at the resort in the natural landscape of Peregrinos, and that we could keep on training, practicing, and rehearsing. Among the good practices we can trace applied to all our educational and artistic processes, we can see, as we previously said, following the rules, the measures that have been traced is the first good practice. The use of the mask, for example, is mandatory in all cases. The on-site classes, that is all training classes in dance, theater, and circus and acrobatic dance, follow the guideline of establishing a maximum of students, including the teacher, according to the size of the different classrooms. That guideline allows us to have a control over the groups, not mixing students all the time, as usually. So in the case, for example, of a positive in COVID, you can limit the quarantine to the group in question. The dynamics of the group, along with the professors, are very important, because having in mind that we are dealing with people that in the personal aspects, for example, might have difficulties or hard life situation, and us as teachers, makes you realize that the space in the classroom with students is a space of sharing, of connecting with each other in a human dimension also, not a virtual dimension, and that we treasure that a lot. It is a space where we realize we are lucky enough to be there dancing or training or making theater. And those are situations to value so much in the actual context that the world is going through. A flexible attitude towards each one that share with us these moments and these spaces is also a good practice we should consider, because flexibility allows us not to limit solutions to the always used ones. We have to be creative to overcome, and in order to do that, flexibility lets us dive into more soothing solutions for this delicate time. The work of the group as a team, the collaborative work among the coordinations of the different activities, makes it so much easier to work in difficult conditions. In the first case, for example, the staging of the Nutcracker, the chains of communication, since the directives of the Institute suggested the idea of doing this multidisciplinary version of the ballet Nutcracker, were very active, collaborative, and dynamic. The artistic director, Oscar Torrado, had the different multi-directional exchange with the coordinators of the different departments, Jose Buzón, Jorge Gallego, Javier Otero, to make this work. At the same time, the coordinators settled the needs of each department through their exchange of ideas, feedback, and side-by-side work with choreographers and teachers, Luisa Aria from Contemporary Dance, Jose Manuel Garcia from the Spanish Dance Department, Sara Ballesteros and Carolina Gonzalez from the Theater Department, and professors Eduardo Lucas, Elaine Lopez, and Gustavo Ferreira from the Circus and Acrobatic Dance Department. They immediately implemented the mechanisms to make this staging a reason for the students to light up their hopes and joy again to perform, and to be leaders in the special pathway given the disaster we were living in terms of possibilities to perform, as the other partners have expressed. Also, in the logistics aspects, it was very noticeable that nothing was like before the pandemic. And in the second case of Pequerinos, we can say that through the natural heritage, which the site represents, the genius Loci, through the cultural heritage expressed in the different creations, and through the active participation of the young, the students, they kept the performing arts alive, working in an unconventional site, that is this resort where people sit and have lunch while surrounded by an incredible landscape. There they danced, there they performed, sharing with community. And again, dancing and performing with their masks, maintaining a calm order along the day, the hygiene measures, but still we dance, we laugh, and we lived through the arts. Here, Professors Victor Curubeco and Leven Caratas provided for the students a space for creation and for performing. We've had this with us these past days also students Aina, Lorena, Alejandro, Cesar, Carmen, and Ruth expressing their ideas and thoughts about their experiences on the event. We had also students that were part of the cast of the Nutcrackers in some interviews, sharing their perspectives on their experiences in this staging. Passing on the torch to the young as creators, this is an essential good practice. Foster the creations of the young, involving them as future professionals in the different fields of the performing arts, hearing their voices, their reflections, their testimonies is fundamental for the pillars of culture and of arts in this upside down world. The tools are guidance, horizontal communication on the basis of mutual respect and understanding, providing guidelines for organization, resources, creation, self-confidence, and focus and hard work in their tasks. We had also Nair, Ruth, Andrea, Laura, and Carmen talking about their experiences as creators, as young choreographers, and also the challenges they were exposed to, and the relational aspects with performers that are also peers of them, but when they are in the creative and choreographic processes, the leaders that are also students, they have to take on another role. So they start to experience the fact that they are leaders in their role and responsible for some things. They work on the decision-making process also. And the performers also shared with us some aspects of their role as performers. This leads us to the conclusion that we need more than ever every little possibility that might present to us to turn it into a huge possibility, a meaningful experience, because more than ever we value that we are lucky to have the possibility to train, to practice, to perform, work together, feeling when we can each other near and supportive. Thank you. And now we open the space for you to share your thoughts, comments, questions, anything you might have to share.
Can I? Thank you very much, Gloria. It was a very deep analysis, not only of the residents' activities, but also of the methodology and the perspectives and the possibility that we have within this context, unexpected context of the pandemic. So it's very, very important what you said. It gives a lot of things to reflect about. I would like just to add something also to what Lewis said about the motivation, to create motivation, to create the conditions for making. This is a very important aspect. And I think this is very much related also to the necessity of networking, of exchanging good practices, of exchanging the know-how, then that each of us can have the different know-how to share competencies in the different fields. This is a very important perspective to grow and to develop new ways in such a different context we are living. I think also to listen to the voice of Alina and to the experience of the State Theatre of Constanza and the solutions found. I saw the performance Alina was mentioning, and it was very interesting to find new hybrid way to face the situation and not to stop to the difficulties, hoping that our efforts will go on in the future. Also the possibilities to keep on collaborations. I think this is really a resource for our life in arts. And this can give us the strength and further skills to deal with this situation. I think Genius Loci is teaching us also this. And also just another important thing I would like to stress, that this is bringing us to reflect on our relationship with our cultural heritages, of our diversities, and on the connection between culture and nature, a very deep connection that often was made like contraposition. I think we should really rediscover our ways to the culture of nature. Site-specific is also an important way to respect the environment and to find vital resources in our cultural work and in the strong ties that it can create stronger ties with the natural environment, with the Genius Loci. So really enriching insights from all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Roberta. We invite you if you would like to share any thought about our shared experiences.
I would like to talk actually because I learned a lot from Genius Loci. I would like to say thank you to all directors, all coordinators, all thing. I learned to have promote our job. Yes, you are the maestros and maestras here, and somehow you are so busy with the hard work to montage and put on the stage in creative new creations and organize all around the departments, schools, theaters, and coordinating. But I saw something from this group which we had a missing something, which it was kind of the promoting our work, what we are doing here exactly, what we are doing. Just we're staying each other in Zakynthos. I obligated to people to give me interviews, which now we are eating their fruits. Yes, and since Zakynthos, I improved a lot from audiovisual job, and I want to thank you one by one to all of you for their job, for their effort for this pandemic world. And I want to say congratulations to everyone from Italy to Spain to Greece to Romania to France, to anyone involved with this project. Thank you, and I appreciate it about learning.
Thank you, Levin.
Gloria, probably it's me, Luis. Probably I would like to see if one of our professors can talk a little bit about how they make solutions in the COVID-19. the organization way.
¿Hay alguno de nuestros profesores que quiera compartir algún aspecto en especial sobre los distintos actividades que hemos ido viendo a lo largo de la semana? Okay, so I would like to give the word to Fabio or Roberta or the partners for any closing statements for the residents.
Yes, if there are someone else, of course, that want to speak, because I would like to say something, not like a conclusion, but to open one more time, one thing. The first thing is, I ask you, first, I want to thank you, everyone, and also, of course, I want to thank Alina, Costas, and Alessandro, because the work was not easy, and also I want to thank all our friend from Spain, because it was very important. Also, I want to thank all the professors that has worked in a very difficult context. It's very clear this, and also I have thought a lot in these days after your contribution, because there are many things to consider, and also I want to ask you, we have to consider if it's possible to do something as soon as possible, not only in the framework of Genius Loci. It's very important to do the action that we were not able to do. And also if it's possible to have some activities of workshop in August, September. We have to try to find this, not in a big measure perhaps, but it's important to don't lose this experience, because it's very important, I'm sure on this. And also, it's not easy, but I want to say there is a paradox that I want to focus now. Always all the students said, we have a big problem with the mask. And also I remember that one of the last idea to work with our friend Roberto Tessari is to work on the mask in theater. And because the mask is a very important heritage of theater. And also perhaps we are living a transformation of this dimension of the mask, because stay in all daily life, and we have started to try to seek something, some elements in the eyes, because the other part of our face is covered by the mask. It's very strange, because it's an anthropological revolution, perhaps, because before we have this part of the eyes covered, and also only the mouth was open, is a half mask. And we are living something, and you have worked a lot on this. And also I think that it's very important element to consider. Also, there are some of Astragali theater that continue to work all the day with the mask. and it's very strange because we are our habit is to show everything, to work with our face, and also this is another aspect very important. I remember that I have worked a lot on the concept of violence, and I'm continuing because in this period I'm trying to write a lot about the elements, the basic element of theater in conflict zones, the dimension of the war, and so on. And I have one of the considerations that I'm trying to develop is the main aspect is the violence. And we are living in the context of violence, very strong. In the relationship, there is the violence, is very strong because we are living without the contact, without the dimension of the contact of the bodies and so on. And we are living and we are suffering this dimension of violence. And Emmanuel Levinas said that the violence is it's difficult to translate in English, but also is a in fact, I asked to Roberta to translate, è un volto senza un viso. No?
It's a face without a
visage.
face. Yeah.
The violence is something. We have a word in Italian. Volto is the face, is la cara is the face. But il volto è stravolto nella violenza. Is a transformation of the face. And this dimension of the mask on the mouth with the eyes open is something very strange. We are living an anthropological transformation very strong.
Kind of postmodern commedia dell'arte.
Yeah. No, è un commedia dell'arte è un concetto is a concept on which I would like to work a lot, also because Roberto Tessari that died 2 years ago. When I was in Madrid, he died. But also he has written some books very important on commedia dell'arte. And also the presence of the mask is not something essential for commedia dell'arte. It's general the mask culture that says that commedia dell'arte is connected with the mask. It's something more delicate. When I say about the mask, I think about the so important civilization from Africa, from Mother Africa. The culture of mask is connected with the Mother Africa more than also the work on commedia dell'arte is a transformation connected with the animal and the dimension of the animal because Arlecchino is something connected with the cats and so on. Is also an open topic, this one. And perhaps this situation allow to us to come back with this topic element that we have abandoned from many, many years because, you know, for example, the women has not masks in commedia dell'arte after the first period because the first period is not connected with the mask, but also is a topic that we need to work together perhaps on this. Starting with the translation of the work of Roberto Tessari, because I invite you to consider commedia dell'arte like an element very important of the tradition of the professional theater in Europe, but something that has developed also the idea of improvisation is something that we have a common sense not very well developed, that we have to consider in another way. Also, you know that I am a musician too, and I consider improvisation in the sense of the jazz composition. It's something very well structured, it's connected with the rhythm, and many of you are dancers, and you know very well what is the sense and the so deep topic of the cultural dimension to stay in a rhythm, not only in the structured elements. You have to stay in a rhythm very precise. And when you have the improvisation, you have to do, you know, the word comes from Italian, improvisazione is azione all'improvviso, is a sudden action that can create a surprise. It's not something disarticulated, like a dimension of the animality, very strange, because also animality is another aspect that we have to develop. One of the last book of Jacques Derrida is the animal that I am, because we are animal too. No, the animal is not something wild, dimension of sauvage and so on. It's something more structured. Many of our impulses are connected with our dimension of animality. And also for this, we have to consider this heritage also in a different way. But also, I want to thank you mainly for the dimension of the responsibility to your students, the action of responsibility with your students. This is very important in this moment. You have to give the floor to the young generation, but also we have to work hardly with the discipline, with the dimension of the transmit, the techniques, and so on. It's not only to be free. It's like, yes, we are free. Okay, we can walk in the forest and we are free. But when we are on the stage, also we are connected with the techniques. And also we have to develop this dimension in a good sense, very open sensibility, very open mind, and so on. Also for this, I said that I was very, I have spoken with a lot of emotion, because I have two different souls in my, also I have said many times that I have a problem of the dissociation, because for this I feel very well in theater, and is connected with, also my master was connected with the Jerzy Grotowski and the school in the United States of Grotowski work. Okay, and also we have published a very important book on Jerzy Grotowski in the United States, because it's a part of the research of Grotowski, not very well known, that with whom we are very connected with, because we have developed this direction of work from one side. But the other side is connected with Georges Lapassade in France, with the experimental pedagogy. To open the dimension of pedagogy is always very important. And also when we are facing an important moment, we have also to have experimentation with the things that we can do. We have to change our mind. Also in this way, perhaps we are ready to front this new situation that we are living. And I think that in this way, we have changed the project. We have changed Genius Loci, because, for example, there is an aspect very important, it's connected with the site-specific things that you have worked there, but also the dimension was to work with the international group. It was not possible this. But in any case, you have experimented something that is a starting point, very important. And also, I think that it's very important to try to continue this. I mean, my idea, my feeling in this moment is that this project is just at the starting point. And also we have to develop more. Also, we are working with the Legends on Circular Ruins, was also another project, very important, that has met very important results also. But now this new condition transform ourselves in another dimension. And also for this, we have to collect the challenge and restart. And also for this, I want to thank you for your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Fabio. I think we are already challenged by you for this. You have opened the Pandora's box, so we should dive into it.
It's better Pandora than pandemic.
Of course, always. And for the first thing you mentioned, the actions, you mean waiting for the measures to permit to do some actions, or already with the tools we have?
Yes, with the tools that we have.
Great.
It's important if we have the opportunity to have a summer school or other things, we have to launch these activities more, because also we have created a very important expectation by the students too.
Yes.
We have to follow this. It's very important this to don't leave.
Okay. So then we have these open debates that we would like to develop around your suggestions. Thank you. So if there's anyone else who would like to comment or something. We are very happy to have you here sharing with us. I think it is a very meaningful, these have been very meaningful days and activities, and to join here together for the last residence, I think has opened a lot of thoughts and most important, possible actions, as Fabio said, that we should keep on fostering and doing mostly. So thank you, every one of you. And
first, you have to share this one.
That
Very soon.
That could be.
We are ready to share this one, and also please, also some quesos for Alberto and Luis too, and we are ready to share together.
And churros.
Churros. We are ready to.
Made by crunchy bread.
Thank you very much, everybody, and the people that are not here present but have shared also with us.
Hello, thank you so
everybody.
much.
Bye-bye.
Gloria and everybody.
Bye,
thank you very
thank
much.
You so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
See you in Lecce.
See you.
See you in Spain. Γεια σου Κωστάκη.
Γεια σου Φαμπιάκη.
Γεια σου Κώστας.
Γεια σου,
Bye,
γεια σου.
Alina.
Με τσιπουράκι.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Hola, buenas. Aquí estamos en Peguerinos, justo en la entrada de Peguerinos. Estamos aquí porque vamos a tener en este lugar hoy una actividad muy singular. Es una actividad dentro del programa Genius Loci, donde participan varios países: Italia, Grecia, Rumanía, Francia y por supuesto España, y que debido a la pandemia del COVID-19 hemos tenido que suspender los traslados de unos países a otros, ya que la primera actividad que se hizo en Grecia fue la última actividad que se hizo justo antes del inicio de la pandemia. Es importante destacar un poquito el patrimonio que tiene esta localidad, ya que está enclavada dentro del Parque Natural Sierra Norte de Guadarrama, un lugar protegido, que es donde vamos a hacer la actividad que hemos llamado Naturaleza Viva. Este proyecto se llama Genius Loci.
Uno de los lugares más fantásticos como para traer hasta aquí las artes escénicas. Genius Loci es eso, llevar al arte donde está el arte. ¿Y qué lugar más hermoso o más artístico que este escenario maravilloso y este entorno maravilloso que nos ofrece la naturaleza?
Un espectáculo fantástico, digno de mirar en un entorno tan bonito, tan representativo de nuestra naturaleza, de nuestras costumbres, bueno, invito a todo el mundo que lo pueda admirar.
Con respecto al montaje, pues un montaje especial para bailar en este lugar por el entorno precisamente y por ser parte del proyecto de Genius Loci.
A ver, el baile, como está bailando las chicas, estaba muy bien, la verdad. Hemos pasado una tarde muy a gusto.
Pues muy bonito, muy inspirador. Había una niña bailando después de que se acabara, o sea que muy bien.
Lo de Camarón. Me ha gustado todo, pero lo de Camarón me ha encantado.